All right, this is good news for the establishment and bad news for common sense. You remember Sue Gray? Yeah, we've been talking about her, that former senior, respected civil servant, very impartial, very independent, who was behind the Partygate inquiry against Boris Johnson, and then she decided to get a job with the Labour Party as chief of staff to Keir Starmer. And obviously, because she jumped straight from civil service to this potential job, there was an inquiry. Then they said, well, you can't really do that. So they decided, the government said, well, it's probably best to ban her at least for 2 years, to not be able, there's some sort of window, a buffer. At least don't have access to all the sensitive information, the inside information from the government, and help Keir Starmer with the upcoming general election, right? And I thought that was settled. But we're now just hearing that they've decided to make a U-turn. The establishment, the actual bureaucrats, the advisory committee on business appointments. So these guys have now come up to recommend that Sue Gray, the former senior civil servant, should just take 6 months garden leave, and then after 6 months she could just work for the Labour Party and Keir Starmer. Everything's fine, as if nothing has happened. No outrage, no scrutiny. So within the next 6 months, you're going to have Sue Gray with all access that she had until recently to all the sensitive information, all the tricks and trades and everything else when it comes to the government. She can now pass it along to the Labour Party and Keir Starmer. Although she doesn't really have to have the official role to do it. She can just pick up the phone and tell everything to Keir Starmer. But it's the principle. You need to have some, for example, in normal business and corporations, you have the competitive clause. If you leave, you can't really take the clients immediately. You have to have some sort of buffer zone. That makes sense. There is a reason for that. And now we are having a situation where the government have to decide if they're going to take the recommendation or fight back against it. But if they fight back against it, there's going to be another outrage against the government saying you're being biased. Now, the Times, the newspaper, previously disclosed that Starmer's team was seeking to get ahead of ourselves, they said, by making detailed preparations for government through formal talks with the civil service, well ahead of an election. That was the other thing we reported, that they already admitted that they were in talks with the civil service. The team wants to begin preparatory talks with officials at least 9 months before the election next year. Formal access talks are granted at the discretion of the Prime Minister and range from a few weeks to 15 months. Gordon Brown granted David Cameron. So this obviously happens if there is permission from the existing Prime Minister. If not, then it's just not a good look to have secret talks with civil service before you even have won the next election. Now, the government themselves, Downing Street, could choose to reject this advice from the advisory committee, regarding Sue Gray's appointment. However, doing so would be unprecedented, and ministers would have no power to stop her from taking up the role. So basically what you're saying is, this committee could advise or recommend it to the government, but the government has no power to accept or reject it. This country, this system is completely a clown system at this point. What is the point? What is the point of having procedure, a basic process, if no one's going to respect it? Yeah, lawlessness happened inside the establishment. So what do you expect from the people around the country, ordinary people, like that crazy prankster on TikTok, criminal Mizzy, committing crime? If politicians don't care about process and the rule of law, then ordinary people don't care either. It's very dangerous, this behavior. Anyway, without exaggerating, it matters. Bureaucracy has to be respected. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to share this video. I'm Mahyar, Tousi, and we are the media.